Fuck it. Captain, you ready?
We can make it if we try.
Captain.
What the? I guess I'm the captain now. Proceed.
What is going on, everybody out there in podcast land?
Yo, yo, yo.
Hello, my darlings.
Yo, yo.
What up, everybody? Welcome back, chat. Listeners, new and old. Welcome to our weekly ritual. All things
Yay.
grow.
We're thrilled to have you here.
We are. We're thrilled to be here, too. How are you guys doing?
I'm pretty damn good. How about yourself?
Good. I can't hear you that well, Monster. Bring that mic over.
He hates that mic
to the
tonight.
mouth.
Sorry.
Get intimate with me.
Let's make sure real quick that mic is indeed on, which it is. Okay. What up? Can you hear me now?
Dude.
Yes.
We can
that's
hear
better.
you. Yeah. Just the more you get up on that mic, the better, and deeper the voice sounds.
Is that what you wanted to see?
Yeah, I want to hear all the little spit globs in the corner of your mouth.
It's like ASMR, right?
For some people,
Exactly. Exactly. So, yeah, guys, what I gotta ask, G3, are
Yes, sir.
you smoking?
No. I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot.
Bum,
So,
bum, bum.
so probably 2 or 3 nights ago, my throat was feeling a lot better. My lungs were feeling a lot better. And I was like, what's one little hit gonna do? It's not gonna cause any damage. Spoiler alert, it did cause damage. I woke up I took 1 or 2 hits of this blueberry muffins. I love blueberry muffins. It's such a good strain for me. And it just, man, the next morning I woke up and I was my throat was super inflamed and angry. And I was coughing till I was gagging. And it was just it was so bad. So I'm finally back on the mend, a little bit better, still on edibles. Still happy girl, but no, I'm not smoking tonight.
Hey, as long as you're getting that tea into your system somehow. You know
Yeah.
No
And I really
combustion,
like
though.
these.
That's
No
a bummer.
combustion.
It's a
It is a
bummer.
bummer. I tried, and
Have you
she
tried
just said
vaping?
no. Well, I probably should have done that for my first time pulling something back into my lungs. It should have been vapor instead of smoke. But again, I'm kind of an idiot, so. People don't make wise choices.
I always
like
try to jump the gun when it comes to smoking when I'm not feeling well, just because getting stoned makes you feel better.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of dulls any pain you might be having, like a stomach ache, a headache.
And normally I would totally agree with you if it was me getting over a cold or something.
Cold,
but this is different. This is my body feels fine. I do not feel sick at all. It's just my lungs are angry with me and my throat is oh my gosh, we're in a toxic relationship right now. It's bad.
All right. Well, we'll skip over you.
Fingers crossed next week. Fingers crossed.
I hope you're back.
I'm on some nice ratioed CBD gummies though. So I am actively using cannabinoids to help.
Good. She's in the zone, although not fully.
Right. Different type of zone. Good. Damn, I miss flower.
I bet you do.
I do so much.
You do. Now we're going to tell you all about the good stuff we're smoking on, make you super jealous.
I'm going to live vicariously through you. Bring it on.
What do you got, Monster?
I
Got
am
some
smoking on some of that strawberry cake sent to me by Cultivator 86. So he
strawberry
took,
cake.
yeah,
That's
he
new.
took my lemon carver selected cut and he bred it with strawberry pie from Raw Genetics. So you get the lemon carver, which is black lemon cake crossed with peanut butter breath, and then you have the strawberry pie, which I fucking already forgot the lineage of that. But Raw's been in the game for a while. He's been killing it, and he took a couple of, in my opinion, really good strains, put them together. Now this one, this pheno here, he knew I'd like this pheno. This is honestly like, if you would have told me this is a different pheno of lemon carver, I would have believed you. It's really heavy on the lemon terps, which I like a lot. Definitely something I want to fucking fill a room with and fuck around and find out. See what it does.
Cool, man. Yeah, they got a lot of limonene up in there.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites when it's done right. And this is, it really is. It tastes like tastes a lot like lemon carver. I get a little bit of sweetness, a little bit extra sweetness from it. I'm digging it. Anyway, cheers. Shout out to Cultivator
Cheers.
86,
Yeah.
Farms.
That's great. Made something you knew you'd like. Send it to you.
Yep.
Hell yeah. I'm still digging my Rom Scotty #1 over here. Got the jar right here.
My goodness, are you just ignoring everything else in favor of that?
It's a new kid in
No,
town. It's a new kid in town. That's what happens.
definitely,
He's got
definitely
like
not.
6 new kids.
Yeah, that's all right. You know,
I'm showing them all love, but at nighttime, this is the one that, like, I gotta admit, like, when I grind up other stuff, I am missing this one. I'm still smoking them, but like, yeah, until this one's gone, I'm gonna be kind of digging it, you know.
You mothered her?
Yeah, I
have
still
it?
have a cut up in the attic. I forgot to water for a couple days too.
yeah.
1 gallon pots. They were not happy at all today,
Yeah,
but that's
that's-
the benefit of photo periods,
It's
you know.
so funny looking at them. They're like fucking, like they look like they're dead, but they're not.
They're like, they give up on life.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah, they're all like droopy and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, just fucking give them some water, it'll be good.
but I'm sure they're fine now. I gave them a good dose of that Athena, the not the Pro line. What is it? What's the other one?
Blended.
The blended line. Yeah.
The blender works fine. It's just a pain in the ass.
You know,
You get used to
like
it,
I said, I
guess,
got it down to a kind of a science now. I know the ratios and I know what to mix in, and
If it is something you want to continue with, just get the Pro line. It's powdered. It's so much easier. You're only using 2 parts at a time. It's grow and core. I mean core. Well, core is the core and grow, or core and bloom. That's all you need.
word.
So much easier.
Yeah, I'm thinking just because I can, for lack of better reason, I can. I'm definitely gonna do that Synganic technique like we've been talking about, if only just to fill the gaps in my organic nutrition regimen. You know, it just like maybe a half dose, a third of a dose,
Yeah, I think
as
in
recommended.
soil that would work out just fine with what you're doing.
Yeah, just give it a little extra oomph, you know.
Through your res? With
Yeah. I think that's the
Because
way
you
to
wouldn't
do
be
it.
able to like top dress and water it in if
No.
you're using salts.
Nope. I would still. Oh yeah, that's a good point. You know, if I do start using salts in the res, then I won't be able to top dress and water in from the top and all that stuff. Because yeah, you don't want to
You still
push
can.
the salts back and forth, right?
You still can if you there's something you can do, and you can flush the plant from the, like, say you're going from veg to bloom, right? You can flush that plant heavily from the top, right? Just make sure you're getting a good amount of runoff, and then top dress with whatever you know your build a flower or whatever you wanted to do. Get that in there. Maybe mix it in. I don't know. You also not necessarily that type of amendment, but you can bottom feed the organics too. That's what I use a separate res for.
Maybe I'll excuse me. Maybe I will just top feed the synthetics.
You could, yeah.
I mean, if it's only like,
But usually when you're watering, when you have salts, don't you usually want to water to run off? And then wouldn't that fuck with the system?
Yes and no. I know plenty of people and I've done it myself. You don't need to water to run off. Fucking a myth. I think it's not. I shouldn't say that. Let me step back. It's something you have to really know exactly how much you're watering that plant, whether or not you're overwatering. And if you continually fucking, you know, use the wrong amount of nutrients and the wrong technique without the proper ratios, yeah, you can fuck shit up without going around off.
well, we'll see what happens. As of right now, I still don't have anything started. We're still planning to grow along. Got empty tents right now. I spent the better part of the weekend, really getting in there and cleaning everything after the last grow.
That I think is the worst part. Worse than trimming, worse than drying, worse than curing.
Do you really?
Cleaning and flipping the fucking tent. Ugh. Ugh.
So, I mean, I don't really go too crazy with it, honestly. Like I mix up like it's one of these like low budget like brand X generic cleaners that I got from like Ollie's Bargain Outlet. You know those places, G3? Do you have
Yeah.
those around you?
Yep.
Yeah, it's just like an all-purpose cleaner. Kind of smells like pine trees, and
Does it have a disinfectant in it?
yeah, it does. It says right on the bottle like kills the COVID virus. So I'm assuming it kills just about everything else too.
Regular
So-
cleaners are just like too far out of your budget.
Oh well, I mean they had it was like 5 for $5 at Ollie's Bargain Outlet, so I had to grab 5 of them, and now I've been using them to clean everything. So
How does it work?
figured why not? It'll work on the tents too.
I like
Okay,
bleach.
yeah.
Diluted bleach
No,
water.
it's not bleach. It's not
No, I'm saying
ammonia.
that's what I rock with. Just regular bleach water, diluted bleach.
That'll work too. I know a lot of people use H3. What's H3?
Hydrogen peroxide.
Yeah.
Food grade. Yeah.
Hydrogen peroxide diluted with water. There's a bunch of different ways to do it. I would definitely recommend you have an like an antiseptic agent of sorts, just to kill any molds, any botrytis spores that might be floating around. Get a clean start.
Not only that, but you'd be surprised how dirty your tents are when you wipe those things down. You're like, oh wow, there's all my fucking reflectivity.
Yes,
Mhm.
it's true.
Unless you're slapping slaps all over the back of it.
Oh my God. Put all your slaps above your lights.
Hashtag I want less light.
Yeah. Put
I
your
love
slaps above your light.
Appreciate all the people throwing those CC slaps up there, but yeah, you know, maybe
Now-
like G3 said, above the light.
Or, put it on like a banner or something outside your tent, or
Yeah, get a sticker.
something
board,
that you can
know what I
keep
mean?
it, because
Sticker board.
I don't. I
Slap
had
it on your
one
wife's
time.
ass.
Yeah, I had one time when I like had a humidifier went crazy on me, and then my fan, like I had turned my fan off or something and forgot to turn it back on, and I went inside and opened my tent, and it was a literal cloud in there. Like you could swim in it, and it destroyed half the stickers that I had above my lights. Yep.
Too much humidity.
Too much. 1,000% humidity.
Yeah, above 100%. It's just a cloud.
Yep, it was a cloud.
Just a cloud. Well, so like I do wish I don't have like fully waterproof light fixtures. So I'm not like spraying everything down and then wiping from like top to bottom. Like a lot of like you probably should. You know what I mean? Like if you have the right light fixtures, you can just get those things wet too. You know?
Yeah, I recommend just like a damp cloth with them obviously unplugged. That's
Hmm.
all you really need. The LEDs themselves, you want to get some good alcohol, microfiber cloth, wipe those things down. Just keep in mind you don't want to wipe too hard. And every time it's a double-edged sword with LED chips. Every time you're cleaning those chips, you're ruining the life.
Scratching them.
You're scratching them and ruining the life expectancy. But they get dirty and you're losing light anyway. So it's like as
Yeah.
long as you're gentle, you'll be all right.
Yeah, like microfiber cloths, or you could even clean it with like eyeglass cleaning cloths. They're
Yep.
really
a
safe
good
and
idea.
sensitive for glass, less likely to scratch.
Never
Very
paper
good
product.
idea.
Never use a paper towel. Paper is abrasive. It will scratch it.
Hmm.
The
Not
tops
even
of the lights.
Charmin.
Nope. Not
Yeah,
even
anything
Charmin.
metal,
Yeah.
paper towel it up.
Yep.
Or use a reusable cloth.
And
Friendly
pro
to the
tip, you
planet.
know what works pretty good to help disperse cleaning agent is the can of fogger. From
Yeah.
you can load that thing up with fucking whatever you want, your bleach water or whatever. Works
From
great.
Petra Tools.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yep. Just load
AC
it.
man.
Infinity has a sprayer too.
Oh, did they? I'm sure.
They
Make sure,
do. God
What a
knows they've
shock.
got
What a
everything.
shock.
make sure you grab that one. Code
Yeah,
cultivation.
you got a
Cultivation.
code on
Just-
that one.
You
Absolutely.
do.
Be
They're not
careful.
expensive, but
Yeah,
they're less expensive than the fogger is. But the fogger is, I mean, that's a nice piece of equipment right there.
When is AC Infinity going to come out with a fire extinguisher?
I wouldn't be shocked if they're working on one now, honestly.
Yeah, automatic fire extinguisher kind
We
of
bust their
contraption.
balls, but they haven't really had that many issues. That's funny though.
Well, you know, it'd be like ironic to have that as part of their catalog. It'd be like, you know, kind of admitting like, oh, our products
Right? They're
might
like
catch
telling on
fire.
themselves.
Might catch on fire. But like the reality is,
Bluetooth enabled fire extinguisher.
you're right. Plug it in right to one of your ports on your controller 69 Pro and get an alert. Text anytime, anywhere if your tent and home erupts into flames.
While we're on topic of the 69, this isn't the Pro. This is the regular one. Remember that fan I told you I dropped and broke? So
Yeah.
that's my fault. I mean, I dropped the fucking fan from up on a ladder, smash. Like I can't blame AC Infinity for
That
that.
happens.
And the housing itself didn't break. Actually, it's ironic. It's the fan blade inside. Anyway, long story short, does anybody know if you can power these things with? Don't tell me just plug it into regular USB-C because I tried. I don't have a UIS plug handy, but I want to see if you can use that device without their fan and like just a UIS plug maybe. Going right to it because I've tried plugging in USB-C to all the back ports. It won't turn on. So
Wait, turn on the fan
no,
without
the
a blade?
controller. I want to use their controller.
Oh, without the fan.
Yeah, without their fan because the fan
Gotcha.
broke and I have an extra controller now just sitting around. So I wanted to
I mean,
see.
can you just like plug it into the? It doesn't have its own plug that plugs into the wall.
No, the way these 69 controllers work is they're USB-C on the back, and you have 4 ports: 1, 2, 3, 4. The first port would be for the AC Infinity fan, and that's how it got its power.
Really?
Yep. So I'm wondering.
I bet
So
they have a
that's-
power
that's-
cable
yeah,
for
that's a
it.
really- They must just have a
Yeah, I think
cable
they
that
do.
Yeah.
only supplies power, man. I would check the website.
I didn't really say anything. I did. So I have a couple of UIS plugs. I just have to. They're at another location. I have to grab one and test it. I'm willing to bet that the power from the UIS system will get it to turn on. That's just my guess. If not, I'm gonna be pretty bullshit that this box here is useless without one of their fans.
I can't imagine that it would
I can't
be
imagine that
that
either.
limited.
I can't. I really can't
Yeah,
imagine it.
They have to have thought
you're
of that.
thinking of the old school ones. The 3.5 millimeter jack is for, and somebody in the comments. Is
Yeah,
for
that's the one I
temperature control.
have, Smoke Ring. Like that's the OG controller. They've gone through a series of upgrades in 2-3 years. So yeah, now the one, I guess, doesn't have that 3.5 millimeter jack. It just has like the first port, right, Monster? Like you're saying, the UIS port.
Yeah, so I don't know if the
The
camera's going to pick
the
this up.
first one actually
There's
supplies power
four
too.
ports in the back of it. Okay, one and that circle. That circle is for the temperature probe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Temperature probe plugs in there, and then you have 4 USB-C ports.
And port number 1 is the one that gives it
Yeah,
power
so
from
I've
the
tried
fan.
plugging in multiple different USB-C connections. I have a couple here. They plug in, but nothing happens. It won't illuminate.
I'll have to look at
My
mine
best
after the
guess is that
show.
they have a specific power only cable, but
Yeah, well,
I don't
either
know.
way, let's say you were going to use it, right? You would have to really use it with a UIS plug anyway, right? Because otherwise, what's it going to do? Display the temperature and humidity in your room? Fucking great. Like that's
With a temp probe, yeah.
Yeah,
yeah. But I want to actually use it for
controlling.
controlling I have an exhaust fan in the basement. I want to set up, and I don't want to buy another thermostatic controller. I have one here. You know what I mean? Like this is just literally to exhaust air in the basement. Has nothing to do with grow related shit. So
So you're gonna use like a brand X fan
yeah, I
with
have
it,
a
let's say.
Hyperfan.
Yeah, yeah.
We've talked about those before.
No, I wonder if they're like cross compatible with.
Well, their UIS system states that you can use other devices with it. I don't have any intention of using the part of like ramping up the fan and all that. I don't ever expect it to be able to control fan speed or anything. Literally just on or off based on a temperature set because I use those UIS plugs for dehues, humidifiers, heaters. I've used them for air conditioners. It doesn't matter. It will control any device I want it to. Now, I don't run a lot of power through them. I guess this will transition into the next segment. I don't. I use what's called a magnetic contactor, right? That magnetic contactor gets its power from your panel. All right. Picture a main feed coming from your panel. Then the ACI, the UIS plug will send a signal to that contactor to go on and off. I don't like using any of those relays to run a heavy amount of power for them because I don't trust them. It isn't just AC Infinity. I've had problems. I've heard of problems with the Inkbirds, which I've recommended, and a couple of other those smart devices. Right?
You got one device that's bottlenecking all that voltage going through it.
Yeah. So you use the Inkbird or the UIS system as the brain, right? That brain sends a signal to the contactor via the plug. So a regular UIS plug, you plug in your device, it turns it on or off, right? Well, you just have a plug, picture a plug that you just cut the end off. Now you have a plug with wires, right? You take those 2 wires, run them to a contactor, and the contactor, that turns the contactor on and off. That's all it does. So there's basically no voltage going through the UIS plug, minimal. We're talking like milliamps.
Gotcha.
Right? And the magnetic contactor then handles the load of whatever device it's running. I'm not telling people to do this. This is advanced shit. I'm just telling you, I don't run heavy power through any of those systems, so I don't worry about fire.
Dude, bring that mic like over that. The closer you get to that mic,
Is it really?
the
Let me turn this
warmer
bitch
it
up.
sounds. Yeah, it just sounds so much better. Especially when you're going to tell us about how to properly
Not burn your house
spec
down.
our rooms so we don't burn our fucking houses down. I think it's like you kind of read my mind. I mean, I know we were talking about it in the Discord a little bit this week, but it's so important as growers to know your electrical situation. We want to do this hobby of ours safely, and most importantly, like we don't want to burn our houses down. And there's
Yes, probably most
a
importantly.
greater
That
than
probably is goal
0%
number
chance.
1.
Yeah,
Don't burn your house down.
Absolutely. You know, like that's, I mean, talk about like a way to get caught right there. That'd be terrible.
Yeah,
You know,
that's like rule
not,
number 1 and rule number
yeah,
2. Don't
not
get caught.
only
Don't
do you
burn your
lose
house
a
down.
house, but then you like, yeah, once they do forensics, they're like, well, the voltage up in the attic was just overwhelming. I mean, I don't know what kind of devices there were up in there. Monster, you're on mute.
You turned it down the wrong way.
Oh no.
The wrong way. Wow. Smoke another one, dude. I think I will.
You know,
We had a guy here in Massachusetts, Christmas Eve, fucking house burnt down. It wasn't, and it was in like a triple decker. 2 other families were displaced from their homes because of this guy's shoddy wiring in a grow.
Oh, that's heartbreaking.
yeah. So if you're not like in a big old single family in the middle of the woods, you got to be extra careful. You know what I mean? You share walls with other people. Shit.
Yeah.
Fire weed, not weed fires.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
So
right.
I see a lot of fucked up shit in grows in different people's homes, and not even just grow related shit. Like, blows me away some of the shit I see. It's just like literally fires waiting to happen. I mean, even this house I live in is my house, right? We got a really great deal on it. One of the reasons was it needed a complete rewire. The bottom half, this half didn't. It's all fresh. The bottom half needed a complete rewire. I was comfortable doing that job. It's honestly, it's pretty easy, just work. So, but anyway, there's shit that people do that they're literally don't even know it, right? But they have a fire waiting to happen, and it's not a matter of if, it's when, right? Stupid shit all the time. Like, look, extension cords. You hear it all the time. Listen, you can use an extension cord. You just have to do it right. Some like you don't realize when you're running like 100-foot cord to power fucking whatever, right? You're getting a voltage drop when it's going that long of a distance over a thin extension cord, especially if it's using a lot of power, which means the amperage is going up. That wire's going to heat up. It's not going to be good, and you're actually using more power than the devices because it say it needs 500 watts. Well, now it's going to draw like close to 600.
Gotcha. Because it's going to lose over the span of the extension cord.
Yep, and that's resistance and heat, and it's no bueno. Now,
And power cords are, correct me if I'm wrong, they're rated for specific levels, aren't
correct.
they? Like, and you have to have the right size power cord or power strip or whatever for what you're
But
trying to pull through.
that's right, but they're not really intended for long-term usage. Now, if you're running like a couple of fans, right? Something like little shit like that, you're going to be just fine. You could leave that extension cord as long as you want. I mean, I would do something different, but it's not really gonna harm anything. Okay. You start talking about dehumidifiers, heaters, portable air conditioners, which I see all the fucking time, run on extension cords. You can run into problems. I'm not going to tell you you are, because in some cases you're going to be just fine. There's a lot of factors involved.
Those are always the appliances that have like a little tag on them too that says plug directly into wall outlet.
Yeah, and there's a couple of reasons for that. One, they're obviously drawing a lot of power. Most of them need their own dedicated circuit to run, because your house only, most homes are wired with 15 amp receptacles. So in some spaces you might have 20. A lot of modern homes now you're seeing 20, but there's an 80% rule where you don't want to be using more than 80% of that capacity consistently. All right. So now you're down to what, 12 amps if you want to run this thing like safely. Okay. Well, your 500 watt light, there's 4.1 amps, right? Now we're down to 8. Your dehumidifier, those things use like 700, 800 watts.
How many amps?
Well, if a 500 watt uses about 4 amps, let's say 700 watts, about close to 6 amps. So, all right. So now that's without the lights that are running. Maybe you're plugging in your phone charger at 3 amps, right? People don't even consider these things, and they're like, "Oh well, I have all these plugs in my room. I'll just use a different plug." Great idea. It's always a good idea to distribute the load as much as you can over multiple receptacles. However, it's still the same circuit, and it doesn't matter if you plug it into a different plug. Very, very rarely will you have multiple circuits in one room. It's rare. It really just generally doesn't happen. And in some cases, like older homes like mine, you have multiple rooms wired to one circuit. Not
Yeah, that's me.
right.
That's
So,
me.
and in that case, which is quite common, y-
You have even less to work with.
yeah, because there's other people doing other shit, right? And if you have an older home, especially with like older wiring, like a lot of it is two-prong ungrounded shit, it gets hairy. It's not something you really, really want to do. Now, there's a couple of easy ways. Some people are like, well, how do I know? Right? Like, now, anybody can do these things without having any electrical experience at all with just some simple tools. You can buy what's called a circuit finder at Home Depot. They sell them. Fine tools. Milwaukee makes one. Even the commercial electric circuit finder, they're like 50, $60 tops, right? Let me see if I can just pull one up right here.
What are they? I mean, I assume they find circuits.
Yep. So it's real easy. Very great, Captain. It's amazing you picked that one up. So,
Captain Obvious.
Captain Obvious. So
Hit the nail on the head right there.
share screen. I don't do this as often as you, so it's gonna take me.
Yeah, no worries. You gotta find your bearings. There you go.
So turn that fucking
Gotcha.
thing
I
on.
got you.
You got me. Bang. All right. So you can get it right here on Amazon. This is $54. Okay. You take see the thing that looks like a plug, like it plugs into
do.
your wall. That bottom part, that's the transmitter. You plug that into the receptacle you want to find. If it's a two-prong receptacle, they have an adapter right here. If it's a light socket, there's an adapter right here. If it's fucking bare wire and you really don't know, there's an adapter right here, right? Anyway, you plug this into the receptacle. You go downstairs to your basement or wherever your panel is, and you run this tracer like over your panel like this very slowly. You want to it's learning your panel. Okay, you go in like a clockwise, counterclockwise motion just around the perimeter, right where the breakers are. Okay, then you do this, repeat the same thing. It'll buzz out on where that receptacle is, and you turn it off. Then you go upstairs. You look at this receiver. It should be off if you've done it right. It won't have any lights on it. Okay.
Huh.
Then you go around and you look at your house and you note what else is off. Maybe there's a light in the kitchen, fucking whatever, anything. I've seen bedrooms on second floors and basements tied to the same breakers. You'd be surprised
They
when
don't
somebody.
make any sense. Yeah,
Nah.
there's one receptacle in the hallway that's on the same one as the basement back room, and it's just like no sense.
Now,
But
That-
so this is what you can use instead of like standing there while you're yelling back and forth to your wife, like, "Did the light go off now? Did that one work?"
yep.
That's
And
awesome.
now this also has another function on it. It's a plug tester. So see how it has lights on it? Mm-hmm. So let's see if we can zoom in here. I'm pointing at the fucking shared screen when I can point at and make this larger, I think. Let's see. All right.
Ooh.
So, see, I don't know if the camera or the screen is going to pick that up, but you have a different series of lights and what they mean. This will tell you if you have an open ground, open neutral, open hot, right? Hot and ground reversed, hot and neutral reversed, and so on. So this will tell you if your receptacle is actually wired correctly, and I'd say like probably close to a third of the time, when the ones I check, they're not wired correctly. In a lot of older homes, you had old-fashioned two-prong outlets. There's a couple different proper ways to get that third prong, but a lot of times what people would do is just put the three-prong receptacle and just wire it in. And there's a little trick you can do where you take a jumper wire from the neutral and wire it to the ground on the plug, and it'll actually trick these plug testers and make it think that it has a ground. Very, very dumb thing to do. But or they'll just throw it in there without the ground wire. Now, if you, I said I wasn't really going to get into some of this shit, but this is actually something I think honestly anybody can do. Now, if you purchase this tool here, which you're going to need to in order to do this job, right? And you have a two-prong outlet and you need a third prong. Now, I would obviously recommend that you hire an electrician to run you a fresh feed from your panel to wherever you want to plug into to get that third prong. But this is a cheat code that actually is code approved. Okay. You pull out, you shut your power off, you confirm that it's off. There's a couple of different ways to do that with a tick tester. You'll see that in the Amazon link as well. You're going to have two wires coming out of your wall, a black and a white. Okay. After your power's off, you unscrew them from the shitty outlet that was there before. And you take the black wire and you put it on the brass screw. See, that one's brass. Well, they're on the other side. This one, let's see who's going to give me a better view of the side here. Yeah, it's not going to give me a better view. All right. See how on one side the screws are brass and on the other side the screws are silver? Do you see that? I don't know
I
if
do.
the
It looks like the brass is on the left.
Yep, and you'll see it in different configurations, but most time it is that way. You take the black wire and you put that on the brass screw, and you take the white wire and you put that on the silver screw. And if you have a green wire, which in most cases you don't, that's why you're installing this, you would put it there on the green ground screw. It's literally that simple. Okay? Now, there are some instances where the wiring in your house is reversed, meaning your hot and neutrals aren't as they appear, meaning your black's not your hot. It's the other way around. There's a simple way to identify this. With your wires out of the wall safely spread apart so they're not going to touch each other, you turn the power back on. And then you would wave your tick tracer over the two wires, and it will tell you which one's hot. But that's pretty rare. I'm just going to be honest. You don't run into that too often. This is a 15-minute job that anybody could do. And these are actually something that you would want in a grow environment. It's a ground fault circuit interrupter. If you're just running regular receptacles in your grow room environment, it's quite dangerous, especially with water around. People say water and electricity don't mix. They actually mix very well, and it will kill you. If let's just say you're, which I see all the time, I see people with extension cords and power strips on the floor of their tent. That is just
So if I'm getting this correctly, this is instead of like using a big old power strip, right? Like if you only have, I don't know, you have dual two prong plugs in your grow room and you need threes, There's a power strip for that, right?
No, you can't turn two prong into three prong with power strip. I think you're misunderstanding. So when I mean prong, I mean like, so you know how some devices you plug in have two blades, and then one will have that third round part at the
Yeah,
bottom.
at the
That's
bottom.
your ground. In a lot of old fashioned homes, you have just
The twos.
the
Yeah.
twos with, and you're not able to plug in that certain devices. This will allow you to do that.
Gotcha.
And even if you have correct wiring, right? Let's say you do already have three prong outlets, these devices should be installed in your grow room environment because they will actually interrupt the power if they sense spikes in current, which will happen with water, right? They any type of ground fault situation, these will kill power. Now you can there's other ways to do it. I'm not going to get into that, but most people don't have ground fault circuit interruption in their grow rooms, and especially with extension cords and power strips on the floor. Let's say enough water gets in right on the floor with your shit on the floor while you're sitting there standing there and you're not on GFCI, you'll get electrocuted to death. Pull up YouTube videos if you don't believe me. Take a power strip plugged in with shit, right, and throw it in water and watch what happens, right? Like the power just doesn't shut off. People are like, oh, I have a circuit breaker. No, they don't. It doesn't work that way. Like in some cases, it will if you have like an arc fault circuit breaker, right? But most people don't even have those.
Okay.
This is why you see these. See the little buttons? You see these in kitchens and bathrooms because those are wet environments. And if you're fucking blow drying your hair and your husband's in the shower and you drop the fucking blow dryer in the shower or whatever, you know what I mean? They're meant to prevent catastrophes from water and electricity coming in contact with each other.
Gotcha. All right. So get some new receptacles if you don't have them. Oh, shit.
Yep. It's important. And if you don't want to, because some people say they're ugly. I think they're pretty ugly myself. I actually don't use these. You can have a ground fault circuit interrupter breaker installed at the panel where it feeds the circuit and get the same protection. These days, most modern breakers, circuit breakers, are dual function. They're ground fault circuit interrupted, GFCI, which is common, like I said, you see in your bathroom, in your kitchen, right? And then you have arc fault protection built into them, which is what we're going to get into next. Okay. And this scenario happened to me 2 nights ago. My son, I kept fucking telling him, he has his fan, just a fan, like a regular box fan, plugged in on a power strip, running across his room. Okay. Now, I've come in multiple times and I've seen that plug kind of like hanging out a little bit, right? Not making full contact with the power strip. What you're not seeing behind the scenes is little arcs going back and forth between the blades of that plug and the receptacle. Okay. And it's because it's not making full contact. It's trying to. And because it's not, it's creating those arcs, which then create heat, which then melted the power strip and arced out,
Oh shit.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, if I had that receptacle powered by a arc fault breaker, it would have sensed that and killed the power before that happened.
And that's what this one is. It also does that.
No, this just ground fault. You can
But they make
They don't really
ones
make
that do
art
that.
fault receptacles. That's done at the panel with a breaker.
Gotcha.
But
Okay,
it's actually
gotcha.
to code now anyway. So if you hire an electrician to install new circuit breaker in your house, it's 100%, unless you live in some podunk town, 100% 2 code, all new circuit breakers must be arc fault.
All right. Here's what I want to know. From a total layman's perspective, what do you think is like the limit as far as like you walk into a new construction bedroom, okay? Like you buy a house, you walk up into the bedroom, they have normal wiring like a normal home. You want to grow weed in this bedroom. How many amps do you think you have to work with? How big of an operation do you think that's going to get you until you have to start thinking about like sub panels? We rewiring your house so you have more power. Like, what can we do with? I mean, we got 15 amps, 20 perhaps.
Generally speaking, most modern homes are wired on 15 amp receptacles.
And if you're lucky, you have that entire bedroom on one circuit,
Yep, and
and you can work
and
with all 15 amps.
yep,
But
and
like,
in some cases,
how big of a tent can we power with 15 amps?
well, it depends on your needs, right, and what you're doing. Definitely not more than like 400 or 500 watts of lighting. So you're talking probably like a 4x4, because you're gonna need dehumidification, right? Lighting, fans. There you go. I mean, you're already
You're
close.
already kind of
You're
maxed out.
you're
Yeah, like
and if we go back to the 80% rule, right, where you don't want to continually push more than 80% of that breaker's capacity, all the time. Little spikes here and there, like when that dehu turns on, you go way past the capacity, but it's just for a split second.
yeah, I always see like the
Lights
lights
dim and shit.
dim in
Yeah.
every room of my house when my DU goes on in my grow room. It's
And if you're
great.
seeing lights dim in every room of your house, I would check to see if you have an open neutral somewhere or a loose neutral wire. I definitely look into that. You shouldn't see
Okay.
every light dim. The lights on that circuit, yeah, but not every single one of them. Definitely have somebody look into that for you.
Yeah, I got to take a look.
Yeah.
It's all of them.
Now, that tool, the first tool I showed, the circuit finder, right? What's beautiful about that is that will allow you to go down to your panel, right, after you shut the breaker off and look at it. And it's going to have a number on it. And it's going to say 15, 20, right? And
Yeah, word.
in some cases, I've seen tens. But now you'll know, right? And you can just do some quick math. I mean, there's Ohm's law. I'm not going to bore people with that, but you can literally type numbers into Google, I believe, and get amperage of like convert watts to amps. And actually, most of your devices tell you. If you look at the label, it'll tell you input, right? How much power it needs to run, and you can just add it all up. And there's other devices. G3 was talking before the show. I've preached these types of things before. They call it a kilowatt. There's generic versions of these as well. You can find on Amazon. I haven't found one yet that doesn't do its job. You plug these into the wall. You plug your device in. It'll tell you how much power it's drawing, and then you can do that with all your devices. Write it down, add it up, see where you're at. Right?
Now, what if you plug the power strip into your kilowatt
Yep.
and then plugged all your devices into the power strip?
Well, as long as it's not like crazy amount of power. Now, if you really don't want to be running more than like 800 or 900 watts through a power strip continuously. There's other ones where you can, like real heavy duty ones. You buy ones designed for like computers and things like that are built a little bit differently.
Yeah,
But
I get the shop built power strips, that are like built out
the
of titanium.
good. You can feel the plugs too. If like when you plug that device into the wall and it's got everything running, go over to the wall where it's plugged in and put your hand on it. And it really shouldn't be too much warmer than room temp. And if it is, there's a problem. It shouldn't
For
be.
sure.
It means you're running a little too much.
So we had a question in the chat, and I remember talking about it on the Discord this week too, because one of our members installed a
Yeah,
fire
fire retardant
extinguisher,
system,
fire
Extinguisher.
like an
Yeah.
automatic
fire
fire
suppression.
suppression system in their tent, in their grow. And I thought that was genius. I do have a picture of his fully installed thing, but I can't find like I'm sure he found it on Amazon or something. But here, I'll just bring it up.
Yep, he did. Put up the link in the.
I can't
Discord.
find the link. That's the problem. But I have this,
Yeah.
which is this is like an automatic fire extinguisher. It's installed right above his light. I have to believe those red probes like sense heat or smoke perhaps. And then yeah, what does it do?
It's basically just a big fire extinguisher that's controlled by multiple factors. I've seen ones controlled by heat. I've seen ones actually controlled by smoke and or heat. Right. I've also said it before. I've seen a couple of, not that device in particular, but other ones like it, falsely go off for
Oh,
and
that, now that would suck.
fuck up your whole crop.
Oh,
Now I'm
because
not,
it like senses the light's too hot and shit.
yeah. So I'm not
That
telling
would
you to
suck.
not get one, but I'm just telling you there are pros and cons to everything.
I would probably put one of those like outside of my tent, like just as a last resort. Like, all else fails. Like, you fuck something up, you get like an what your son was having like an arc situation going
Hmm.
on, like you're gonna fucking ignite something, God forbid. This would be outside of my tent in the grow room, just as a last resort measure. And
Yeah, yeah.
I do think it's genius.
They sell
Mhm.
cheap ones at Home Depot that literally aren't powered by anything. They're just powered by like extreme heat, and
And
they'll.
what is it? It just like pops the top off when it's
Yep.
triggered, and like
Yep.
a bunch of like I don't know
Foam
foam
come.
comes out.
Yeah.
Phone, probably. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, just God, make sure it just doesn't get triggered by your overly hot grow light.
Yeah. Get a good quality
That would
one.
suck.
One you can trust to not destroy your plants unnecessarily.
Yeah, wouldn't that be a bummer? But it's good to know they have those types of things. I do think like, listen, if you haven't once like been out in the world and wondered to yourself, is my house on fire right now? Especially as a grower. You know what I
Guess
mean?
what?
Like,
There's something that can tell you.
I, what that new AC Infinity?
No, I
Like,
actually have one of these.
no, I'm
So, oh my
kidding.
goodness. So I have one of these in my grow room. It's from, I guess it's Google. It's a Nest Protect. And so I have it. It's just a battery powered smoke detector and carbon monoxide detector. And it's on the ceiling between my two tents. And not only it's connected to two other smoke detectors, same ones on the first and second floor of my house. So if there is a fire, it will um,
No shit.
alarm on all three. They're all connected to each other. So if there's a fire anywhere in the house, it'll alarm on all three. And it also contacts my phone. So if I'm not home and a fire breaks out and this thing detects it, not only will everybody in the house know if there is anybody in the house, but I will know immediately on my phone. And I can either come home if I'm close and, call like the fire department.
Wow.
you know
Talk
a
about
good reason to have like a little camera or something in your tents as well, just for that extra added knowledge, you can look in and make sure there's no flames.
Yep.
Or
Gotta
if you
always be
get
looking then,
notification that there's a fire from the Nest Protect, then
Yeah, that
you
thing's
can
cool.
look on your camera and see, okay, that fire is small enough.
Confirmed.
I
Or
can
like,
get
oh my
home.
God, there's
And,
actually a fire.
right. Either call the fire department based on how big it is, or maybe you're like at a neighbor's house and you can come home and put it out with a fire extinguisher. Like, there are ways that you can protect yourself from fire.
For sure.
Prevention. And then knowing about it is a good thing.
Absolutely.
So
I agree.
Absolutely.
What is the name of that thing?
it's
G3?
the Nest Protect, I
Nest
believe.
Protect, like
But
a
there's
Google
like
Nest.
there are
There's
multiple companies
hundreds
that do
of different
it.
ones.
Okay.
Yep.
Yep.
Word.
And I just happened to like this because it easily connected to other devices that I already had in my home. And I really thought that it being able to message my phone was very important to me.
Yep.
So, but there's lots of different companies that do it. Find a good quality one.
Yeah. There
For
you go.
sure.
That's,
Yeah,
that's a great
wow,
suggestion.
that's-
And at minimum, you should have a smoke detector in there. You'd be surprised how many people I have to kind of push to like, really smoke detector my girl. Well, that goes off. Isn't like my neighbor's gonna hear it? Well, fucking yeah, dude. Do you want your house burning down? Like maybe your neighbor could fucking grab
help
the
you out,
garden
yeah.
hose or something and fuck, man. Like same thing with like I use water alarms in a lot of cases, right? That will same thing. You can get ones that like send an alert to your phone or just ones that just go off, make an audible alarm when they sense water. But yeah,
And if you're
somebody.
using something like autopots, that's a really good idea because if you're not good at taking care of your lines or things like that, shit happens. And then you can end up with a lot of water on the floor.
I know. Yeah, you could.
Yeah, like that's happened to me once or twice. So yeah, all these suggestions are just like they're fail safes, they're last resorts, but like guys, we're running we're running a massive amount of power up into these tents.
Continuously. That's
yeah.
that's the one
Yeah.
thing I want to stress, like because heat builds up over time.
Yes.
And if you're pushing things to the limit, there's only so long certain devices are gonna take that abuse before they start melting. It's just a fucking fact.
Yeah. And we are running a massive amount of energy and heat and voltage up into these grow tents and then surrounding that electricity with, a lot of water, a lot of moisture. It's like it's a recipe for disaster if you're not careful about it. Like you really do have to. And like I will be completely honest, you know, I have worried at times, like for real. Did I leave something? Is there too much on the circuit? I'm out somewhere. Like, oh my God, I'm gonna come home and look, and my house is gonna be in flames. Like, you just don't want to have that thought in your head at all. Make sure you do this shit safely. Don't worry about
look,
fires.
There's
God
ways
forbid.
you can. We've talked about testing power with that kilowatt. Tells you how much power is drawing. If you want to know how much power is being drawn on your circuit, unless you're comfortable opening up your electrical panel, which I assume most people aren't, hire an electrician. They can come over and actually with what's called a clamp meter, clamp it onto one of the conductors while shit's running and tell you how much current is being drawn on that circuit. And you'll be able to know. I'm not going to tell you how to do it because if you're not comfortable opening up a panel, then there's no reason you should be doing that. That's where you get into dangerous shit, like where you can start, fucking hurting yourself. Opening up your panel to turn a breaker off is one thing. That's why every homeowner has access to that. But those covers are on there for, more than just to protect the wires. They're to protect you.
Yeah, electricity
Yeah.
hurts.
Don't go playing with electricity, kids,
The one thing
unless you know what you're doing.
I will say, and I'm just being brutally honest. I understand some people are like insulted by this, but I will tell you that electricity is actually very fucking easy when you understand a few basic concepts and safety practices. The there's a look. There's a reason that the average person shouldn't be doing a lot of shit because they just don't know. But just like anything else, I mean, look, when we're talking about wiring receptacles, there's 3 plugs and it's color coded fucking for you. You really like with a little bit of practice, like just you know doing it like having some wire sitting here at your desk with a plug and I mean shit watching YouTube videos it's really not that hard. I look I'm a machinist by trade, okay? I will tell you that that is 7,000 times harder than electricity. Now being an electrician is an extremely dangerous trade because there are a lot of other factors involved, especially doing commercial work. But doing resi fucking wiring bullshit, it's pretty easy. And if you, I encourage people to try to learn on their own. I'm not gonna get and dive too deep into shit because I don't want to be responsible for you fucking smoking a couple bones and going down to your panel and doing something dumb. I will say, I don't do that type of work stoned, like at all. No, because that's when you do dumb shit, right? Like you don't even realize it because you're fucking stoned. That's the point. So don't do any of this shit I talked about tonight high. I'm being brutally honest with you. You
I
just
do
kind
my
of
best work when I'm high.
listen. I do most of my best work high too, but not electrical work.
Or just get an electrician to
I know.
come. Honestly, it's
I'm
not
just
crazy
playing.
expensive for them to just run a basic diagnosis on your house.
No, it really isn't. And it's like, yeah, oh, they're gonna come here and try to sell me shit. They're gonna with a little bit of homework on your end, just some basic electrical knowledge. When they come, you're not gonna get raped by them, right? Call somebody that's reputable, somebody you know that has worked on somebody else's home. Get them in there and kind of assess things. If you think that if you don't know what's going on, I've given you a couple of tips to try to figure out and kind of see what's going on. But that's only going to take you so far. And then there's some people I know right off the bat are like, as soon as I start talking anything about that, they don't want to have anything to do with it. But if you take away anything from what I have to say tonight, it's the safety shit I want you to keep in mind. Long extension cords, fucking overloaded circuits, too many things plugged in to one
I think
receptacle.
it's
Right?
all stuff. If you haven't thought about this stuff, you really got ahead of yourself.
Yep. And dirty fans, by the way, actually use more power dirty and give you less air. Fact, not opinion. Clean your fans. I've preached this before. Yep.
Draw less voltage. All right, cool.
Not less voltage, less amperage.
Less amperage. All right, all right. Well, electricity is it's a funny thing, but you definitely don't want to fuck with it. So
No.
do it right, do it safe.
Yeah. And
Don't burn your house down.
don't
or
use those stupid
electrocute
fucking
yourself.
those stupid adapters that you get at Home Depot for like 75 cents. You know those little dinky things I'm talking about? The 2-prong to 3-prong adapters so you can plug in a 3-prong device.
Yeah, don't use those.
Don't use those ever.
Right.
Ever.
Just get that thing you showed from Amazon.
Yeah, get the
Put it in
GFCI
yourself.
outlet, put it in, and do that. Don't ever fucking use
Word.
those things.
Word. All right. Do we have a little terp school action we
Oh,
can
yes,
we
yes,
can
yes,
talk about?
yes, 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 we're going to talk about pinene real fast.
One of my favorites.
Yeah, a lot of people
Pinene.
really like pinene.
I
So,
love it. I love it. So honestly, like, well, please proceed with the pinene.
all right. So pinene, we talked before about myrcene is the most common terpene found in cannabis. Pinene is the most common terpene found in nature. That should be fairly obvious. There's a shit
Yeah,
ton of
it
pine
makes
trees.
makes sense.
Like walking through a coniferous forest.
Yep, and it's found in a whole bunch of things from like rosemary to sage to
Oh, really?
even
I
eucalyptus, even oranges have some pinene in them.
Interesting.
So it is super, super prevalent in nature.
I bet you
And
hops does too. Like this
yeah,
IPA I
probably.
was drinking, a little piney, you know.
Yep. So because it's so prevalent in nature, it's really easy to kind of bring into other things that we use. So it's super common in things like perfumes and cleaning products and all sorts of stuff. Because when we smell pine, we respond very like it's our body recognizes it very, very easily. So it's super bioavailable, especially through the lungs. So it can get into your system really easily. Um, it is. I have all these notes that I can't read because it's so dark down here. So, super anti-inflammatory, like most of the other terpenes are. Really antimicrobial, like most of the other ones are. So, we talked a little bit about how each specific terpene goes kind of specialized in an area, and pinene is specialized as well. So, like myrcene helps you relax, is super anti-cancer. Beta caryophyllene is really good for anti-pain and anti-inflammatory. Limonene was really great for mood adjustments and creating dopamine, things like that. So pinene, there's two different types of pinene, and it does have a specialized activity in the body as well. So we'll get to that in a second. So alpha pinene is most commonly found in cannabis. That is like much more common than beta
Beta
pinene.
pinene.
So beta pinene is while alpha pinene is more of that super woodsy piney smell, like exactly what you think it would smell like, very piney. The beta pinene is more like green woodsy. Like we were talking last week about green peppers. I can imagine that type of like spicy green type of smell is probably from beta pinene.
Okay.
So I know I got off track. So we'll go back to the specialized part of pinene. It actually has two in the body. The first one, it is a natural bronchodilator. So opens up all of your airways, makes it really easy to breathe. When you pull in a lot, that's kind of what gives you that tickle in the back of your throat that makes you want to cough. I just lost my place. Sorry. So is Cap frozen? He hasn't moved in like
Hey there, Captain. That's a great fucking still, though. Oh,
yeah,
he's
that
gone.
he totally creeped me out. I was like, I kept getting distracted because he was looking at me all crazy and he wasn't moving. And I was like, okay, I have to like, wow, that was really
Just keep rolling. The show will
okay.
go on.
Yes.
He'll come back. He'll
So
come back.
bronchodilator helps with asthma, helps you be able to breathe. So it really opens up those lungs. And that because of that it helps actually get more into your bloodstream because you can breathe easier. It's also really helpful in your brain itself. It helps preserve memory and helps with your focus. So in our brain, we're not going to get too deep into this, but there are neurotransmitters. Neurotransmitters are what helps things move between neurons in the brain.
Mm-hmm.
And without these, you forget things super easily. Pinene keeps those neurotransmitters there. They don't break down. So they
Interesting.
stay in your brain. You remember much more. So if you find yourself forgetting things like losing your place, like what I'm doing, maybe a little bit of pinene can help. So
Well,
helps.
this one here, he looked like one of those dudes from Westworld.
It was really very creepy. It was like getting some uncanny valley or something. It was, oh, okay. So So pinene will help you breathe. Pinene will help you remember things. Pinene will help you like not actively forget while you're doing things. So if
Unless you're smoking too much of it, then you'll have trouble breathing and you might have some
yeah,
forgetfulness.
but it
Cap's
should help.
back.
Dude, he's
Told you he'd be back. I fucking knew it.
so creepy, man.
Dude, you should have seen your still. I can't. You gotta go back and watch
For like,
at
it
like
was like a
one.
solid minute.
I don't know what happened. I'm sorry, G3.
Don't be sorry. It
You're
was
right in the
fucking
middle
funny
of
as
your
shit.
pining.
We went on without you.
Ki-
You're like weird frozen self. I had me so distracted. I was like,
I'm sorry.
fuck? Okay.
Well, I'll have to go back and listen to it. Apologies.
Yeah. So it's not a big deal. We were basically just saying it's a bronchodilator, helps you breathe, and it helps you remember things and not like lose yourself. Like you don't get that stoner brain. Makes you listen.
Nice.
Yeah.
So it's an upbeat terpene. Like it's
Yes.
it's
Yes. Helps with
commonly
focus. Helps with memory.
a narrow
Helps
leaf.
your brain function properly without getting, turning into a dumb stoner.
I like
Yep.
that. There's definitely not a lot of that in this rum, Scotty. I'll tell you that much. This is have to confirm my suspicions. Like this puts you fucking asleep on the couch, makes you dumb,
I'll tell you what.
Yeah, probably not a whole lot of pinene in there then.
dumb. Like you driving down the road and you're like am I doing this right? Got to recheck all your motor skills, your sense of balance, coordination. Yeah, no, this is not one you want to like go out in the world on. So I'm gonna save it for nighttime.
Yeah, it's a really good idea.
No pinene.
No pinene. Pinene does make clouds though. Like cloud
actual
clouds.
clouds?
Yep.
Really?
So because pinene is so prevalent, a mix of terpenes and oxygen and some other things basically creates a particle large enough that condensation can cling to. And that's what makes clouds.
No shit.
Yep.
Nature's so badass.
Terpenes make clouds.
Interesting.
It's amazing. I went for a nice long walk today.
Off a short pier.
Fall.
You ever hear that one?
No.
Yes,
Oh, a long
right.
walk off a short pier?
Yeah,
my,
go.
I had a teacher
Go take
that
a
used
long
to
walk
say
off
that
a
all
short
the time.
pier. Yeah.
But I took a nice long walk, like fall in Pennsylvania. It's just beautiful.
Yeah, it's a great time of the year if you
Amazing.
got foliage.
But yeah, almost grow off time. Get pumped.
I'm looking forward to it. I think I'm gonna go with that fucking Gonzo grape.
Oh, dude, the picture he sent me of that one just looked incredible.
I keep going back and forth though. If you ask me tomorrow, I might change my mind again.
I know,
haven't been
too
able to decide.
many.
Yeah. Oh, and
I know.
shout out to he probably doesn't listen to the show anymore if he did, but shout out to the person who popped a pack of Outcasts and didn't get any to pop. I just happened to pop 8 Mythical Midnights and they all came up. So just saying.
Just saying, not a me problem. I think it was a you problem.
Yep, and 6 Odin Sons from BGG. And yeah, those all came up too. So, and those have been sitting around. I've had those for a while. So those ones came right up.
That's funny, man. Sometimes you get proof like that. It's just
Come on, man. Like I can see a couple not popping, but a whole pack. Come on now, son.
I think it's got to be a grower issue.
Yeah,
So-
and a lot of times too, it's people just trying to get free seeds. Just keeping it real.
Truth. No, I am having a lot of problems, like picking my strains for this grow along too. Like there's so many damn options. They all sound great. I think.
How do you
really,
decide?
Say again.
How do you fucking really decide? Like,
Well, the way I'm going to do it is based on like, what do I want my results to be? You know what I mean? Like, I think like now learning all these different terpenes, right? We can kind of parse through like, what do we want from our grow? What do we want these effects from our medicine to be? Right?
Mm.
Like, I already got my nighttime strain covered. What I am looking for in this particular, grow is something much more functional for daytime. Like, again, this stuff is not like, you know, not functional weed. Definitely not. I want something a little more functional, a little more like, maybe hybrid, narrow leaf focused, and just terp wise, a little more fruity. Like, this is all like funky, super weird kind of meat terps and stuff.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, those are great, but you want to change your pace. Everybody
yeah,
wants to change.
I,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just need variety in my life.
I mean, I
So
love the pure Michigan, but get sick of smoking that after a while.
I'm going. That's where my mind's at. I know what I want from it, so it's like I can kind of narrow it down based on that. And I encourage all of you to kind of think about the same things. Just like, what do you have already? What are you looking to have more of? If you don't have any, think about terpenes. Think about like the smells you can associate with the different terpenes. And then, like, I mean, it's all right there kind of in the strain names too.
Mm.
We can, and I can tell you joint will know a lot more too about, like, lineages and stuff, and tell you exactly what certain plants smell like. What?
Somebody posted the still of you.
Oh yeah, in the Discord. Yeah, I saw
The
it.
Mexican.
I saw it,
Fucking
man.
shout out to the Mexican.
I
He's been
saw
with
it.
us a while.
My
Oh
goofy
shit.
ass face.
Dude, it was just stuck like that for the fucking longest time.
That's funny. That's funny. Oh, you know,
Sorry.
joint can tell you like what they smell like, and then you can deduce like what kind of terps they got going on, and then what kind of medicine it's going to be for you. So again, get hyped for the grow along. It's coming soon. Starting what, like November 3rd or something like that.
Yeah.
We don't even have an exact date yet.
We'll make
That's
an
what he said.
official post about it. We'll have all the info worked out. Like, it's still, I haven't even released the damn joint episode yet. So like, it's,
Drops the 18th.
majority of people haven't heard about it. But all right. I wanted to do. We don't have time to do a no knock raid. We'll save it for next time. But we do have a good Patreon garden I want to get into. But I do want to thank some new Patreons. I want to thank So Sky High.
So ski.
So he's actually he just upped his tier. Thank you, Cisco.
Well, he was
Aw,
already a
thank
patron,
you,
but
He's been
Cisco.
with us for a long time.
that's I thought so.
He's the
But
best.
well, thank you very much. We appreciate you a lot. You're a great part of the community. Love hanging with you in the Discord. I want to thank Andrew Sanatoa. I hope I pronounced that right. Thank you very much, Andrew. I want to thank Sundan, and I also want to thank Craig D.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yeah, right. 4 new cadets on the pirate ship.
Welcome aboard.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. We'll turn you into sailors yet.
We won't make you swab the deck, but we will make you check your circuits.
Yep.
Yes, we will. And do your own, installation of 3-pronged. What do they call them?
GFCI receptacles.
Receptacles.
Yep. Before I forget, I also want to give a shout out to What Up Doe Grow 313. He sent me a couple of cuts of slurricane that he grew out. So fucking kind of pumped about that.
Wow,
I
that's
was just
awesome.
I was disappointed that I lost my cut.
You got
So
that slurricane back. I love it.
yeah, I'm
I know you've been
fucking
looking for that.
really excited, honestly.
Good.
Yeah. So
Good.
I'm looking forward to that.
Look at that.
And uh, we also have updated the website with merch.
Ooh.
It's just the beginning. If you head over to cultivationconversation.com, there is now a merch tab, and let's see here. Yeah,
Oh yeah. Look at
yep,
that.
it'll lead you right over to T
Holy fucking
Public.
shit.
Yep.
I'm gonna bring this up real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Look at this. Look at this. This is a surprise to me too. The front. Ooh, you can get it in like whoa. You can
You
get
can
it in
get it in
any color.
Yep, and not only that, but there's multiple configurations. You can get tent pirate front, tent pirate back,
Nice.
and it's just the beginning. We have a few more coming your way soon. There.
I could do the tie dye.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep.
Can do the green, the Kelly green. Oh, I love that. Matches the leaves.
Yeah, I hate the Eagles, but I love that color.
it's a it's a good one.
It is a great color. Yeah, that was
Grayish
pretty sharp.
blue.
That
Yeah,
was,
that's awesome, dude. Yeah, thank you for doing that. That's something new
um,
I can play around with. Now do
I got a lot of help from one of our Discord members, Diz Wire. Um, he was I was having one issue where one of the logos wasn't centering for some reason or other, but he was able to fix that
oh
for me.
man, that's cool. Oh,
Yeah.
we got hoodies too?
Yeah, man. And listen, if you click on any one of those links, it'll bring you to the store. And there's also if you scroll down, keep going, boom.
Oh, we got tanks, we got stickers,
Yeah.
hats, mugs. Word. Yeah, that's
Yep.
cool. That's cool,
Yep.
man. Thank you
Yep.
for doing that.
So yeah, report back. I don't own any of the products, but so far the feedback is the t-shirts have been really
Yeah,
good,
I'll
nice,
have to
soft. So
give a
there you
quality
go.
report for you.
Hey, get your little 35% off coupon.
Awesome.
Yep.
Cool. About
So
time.
people have been fucking pounding on the door asking for merch. We've had a couple of things in the past. The first one, the quality was dog shit, so we pulled it down. Then we had a small independent doing it for us. Unfortunately, in this economy, he wasn't able to survive. Did some good shit for us while he was around. His hat, in particular, a couple of hoodies I got. So, anyway, yeah, go check it out.
Yeah.
And
Awesome.
also, there's a lot of people that watch this show, and either now or later, and 42% of you aren't subscribed. So I know it sounds stupid, but if you could just subscribe to our YouTube channel, it would help us a little bit get more content to more people, grow the show.
Yeah.
Stupid little things like that, you know. Even if you don't plan on watching the show on YouTube, if everybody has a YouTube, if you just pull us up and subscribe,
That's why they always remind you on those YouTube videos. Like, subscribe, and follow, guys.
yeah. Well, it's not just us. Most content creators, believe it or not, 40 to 50% of their viewers aren't subscribed. It's kind of weird. All you got to do is click a button. It doesn't cost you anything.
I get it. It's kind of like I'll watch if I feel like it. I don't need to be like notified that you have new content. I'm just going to assume that there is new content,
So
sort of
here's a
thing.
here's a great question. He says, "I'm old. I don't know what Discord is, but I want to be part of the crew. What do I do?" Well, I mean, we're not really on IG much, and I don't know if you use Instagram at all either. The best we can do for you, bud, is here. You can interact with us here. I encourage you to download Discord on your phone and give it a shot. It's really not that hard. Shit.
It's
I mean,
just an app. Yeah, it's an app,
that you
and
just have to learn how to use, just like
it's
anything else.
It's
basically,
very much like an AOL
and
chat
that's
room.
exactly what I was going to say. If you
Yep.
remember AOL chat rooms or instant messenger, you can use Discord.
Yeah.
That's what we use it for. I'm sure there's other functions of it, like, I don't know, these gamers use it to like stream their games and all this other. Like, listen, it's a chat room. That's where we hang out, and post plant pics. These days. So
Yep. You can also
join.
join. You can also join our Patreon. But money's expensive.
Yeah,
That's Rasta Jeff's famous saying. I love it. I use it all the time. So we appreciate all the people that do support us on Patreon. But that's another way you can connect with us.
I think. Yeah, I think you can
Hold on.
search for it
You need an invite.
in Discord,
I'll
but
post a
yeah,
link right now. Hold on.
there's an invite link. Like
Yeah, if
if
you go to
you
our website and click on Discord, it'll actually bring you right there. I'm gonna post a link right
if
now.
you if honestly, if you can get a hold of any one of us three in any capacity, whether it's on Instagram or even just regular old email, we could send you a link personally.
I'm
It's
doing it
it's
right
not
now.
that hard. All right, word. Well, cool. And yeah, we appreciate everyone who's part of the crew who listens. Even if you're just like a lone wolf listener, you don't need to be a part of the crew. We appreciate the lone wolves out there too. There's got to be some of you guys just listen to every show, never said a word, right?
Yep, yep. One more thing, mentioning the website. There's also a list of products we use that it will be updated more frequently as well with other shit that we're using. The point being is, I know every single one of you, well, 90% of you at least, buy stuff on Amazon. If you want to help the show out without being a Patreon member, or if you click on one of those links and then carry on and do your Amazon shopping, we would actually get a small credit for that. And I do mean small. Just something I just something to throw out there. And honestly, every single product on that list are all products that either Captain, G3, or I have used, and we recommend you to purchase.
Word. Yep, absolutely. And Nick, you are not a lone wolf, my dude. You're up in this chat talking
Pretty
every
much every
time we
week.
do a show.
Yeah.
You are not. So,
Oh.
and there is also a link to the Discord on our website, and you don't have to download an app. I see. You can just use it as a web app. So just like, sign in, see what all the fuss is about. And yeah, that easy way to do it right there.
Yep.
So,
And if you're a Patreon member, you also get a free little grow room, place to show off your plants at your own
yep,
individual
your
room.
own channel.
So, if you're a Patreon member and you don't have that and want that, reach out to one of us to get that.
Hell yeah. All right, guys. I think that wraps it up. Don't burn your fucking houses down.
Yeah, grow some fire, but don't make fire. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. We
Yeah.
don't want that. Thank you for the Terp School report. I think the pint. Well, thank you for what I heard of it. I'm gonna have to go back and listen to the part I missed, but fortunately, I think we have it recorded still.
Si, senor.
It'll be there.
All right. Till next time, everyone. Love you. Mwah. And don't get caught.
Don't get caught.